Hi there, we are Lisa and Chris. Please join us aboard our main ship 390, Cool Beans, as we cruise America's Great Loop. Good morning.
Good morning.
Where are we and where are we headed?
We are fixing to enter the Albemarle Sound and we're headed to ElizabethCity, North Carolina.
That's right. And the Albemarle Sound is famous for being what?
Rough.
Rough. But today's a beautiful day.
Should have a good crossing.
I'll scan over. Yeah, it's beautiful. Okay. Yeah, we should. That's the plan. That's why a lot of people are doing it. There's 8 boats in front of us and at least that many behind us, so. All right. How was fried chicken last night?
Alligator River Marina.
Yeah. Famous fried chicken.
Known for their fried chicken. It was good.
Good.
I was pleased.
Me too. All right. I'm out. As we were headed out of the Sound and up the Pasquotank River, we saw a large silver dome. So after some quick research, I found that it was the Weeksville dirigible hangar. Formerly Naval Air Station Weeksville, it was built during World War II to manufacture, house, and service the U.S. Navy's blimps. Blimps became a big part of the U.S.'s defense program after the attack on Pearl Harbor. Helium-lifted airships floated above American coastal waters where they watched for signs of enemy ships. Today, it's a private test facility for airships. These are the ElizabethCity Free Docks. ElizabethCity is known as the Harbor of Hospitality. Most of these boats here are loopers, just waiting out some time before going into the Dismal Swamp. We had a city volunteer help us tie up and give us a welcome bag of literature and a little rose pen. Roses are a tradition in the city. They are everywhere and they're beautifully blooming right now. We ended our first evening with loopers playing guitars and singing. It was really wonderful. The cruise Antica, general fun, strumming along, tranquility, and Blue Tortuga, along with cool beans. Travel day 43. We went 29 nautical miles from Columbia, North Carolina to ElizabethCity, North Carolina. ElizabethCity is such a quaint town. Susie and I walked over to the local coffee shop, the Kraken Coffee House, for a little morning caffeine. And unfortunately, we discovered we had a boat issue. Our generator belt twisted and the pump went out, so we had to order the parts for delivery to Norfolk. Fortunately, we took our mind off of it by going to a great taco dinner with our friends from Tranquility. Downtown ElizabethCity is so cute, and all we needed after dinner was ice cream. So ElizabethCity, if you're listening and watching, please open an ice cream parlor downtown. For today's interesting boat information, I thought I'd talk about nautical miles versus statute miles. I'm sure you've heard us referring to our journey in nautical miles. This is the standard for both mariners and aviators, which I will discuss shortly. A nautical mile is slightly longer than a mile on land, so to calculate nautical miles, we just multiply the statute miles by 0.87. The primary reason for using a different measurement system for marine and aviation navigation relates to the curvature of the Earth. As you embark on long-distance travel, Earth's round shape becomes a factor in accurate measurement. Nautical charts employ latitude and longitude, making it much simpler for mariners, pilots, and astronauts to measure distances using nautical miles, offering a more precise representation of the route traveled. A nautical mile is based on the circumference of planet Earth. The sphere of the Earth is broken up into 360 degrees. Dividing this further, each degree is split into 60 minutes. A nautical mile represents the distance of one of these minutes of latitude. This is essentially 1/60th of a degree. Another way to understand it, If you were to cut the Earth in half at the equator, you could pick up one of the halves and look at the equator as a circle. You could divide that circle into 360 degrees. You could then divide a degree into 60 minutes. A minute of arc on the planet Earth is 1 nautical mile. Nautical miles as units of measurement are used by all nations for air and sea travel. After 2 nights in ElizabethCity, it was time to say so long to our friends and head to the Great Dismal Swamp. We really enjoyed the city and want to thank them for offering such a great benefit to transient boaters coming through their area. Right near the docks is a double bascule bridge. We thought it was so cool. I sped up the video, but look how cool this looks, both bridges going up at the same time. I think this is the first double bascule bridge we have gone under. On our way to the entrance to the swamp, it was just absolutely beautiful. It felt like we were in the middle of nowhere, but ElizabethCity is just over those trees a short bit. The actual Dismal Swamp flows for 22 miles between Virginia and North Carolina and is about 6 feet deep the whole way. There is a lock and a bridge to enter the swamp, and 1 walking bridge, then a bridge and a lock to exit the swamp. Here we are entering the first lock. We went up about 8 feet. I tried to get this on video, but it really didn't show it. We left our boat sticker in the lock and headed towards the bridge. The lockmaster is also the bridge tender, so she had to get in her van and drive all the way down to open the bridge for us 4 boats. Once in the swamp, we felt very calm and enjoyed the beautiful scenery. I didn't know much about it, so I did a little research. George Washington made his first trip to the swamp in 1763. It was also first planned to drain the swamp, harvest the trees, and use the land for farming. When this proved too difficult, they abandoned the plan. The work of digging the canal began in 1793, mostly by enslaved people who were rented out to the project by local landowners. It took 12 years of backbreaking work under highly unfavorable conditions to complete the 22-mile-long waterway. In addition to the grueling work, laborers also endured the mosquito and wildlife-infested environment. African Americans made up 30% of the watermen in Camden County in 1790s and were common sights on local waterways. Opening to navigation in 1805, the Dismal Swamp Canal connected and allowed trade between the Chesapeake Bay in Virginia and the Albemarle Sound in North Carolina. Enslaved African Americans fleeing to safety would use the swamp as a temporary hiding place before traveling northward by boat to freedom. Today, the canal is the oldest operating man-made canal in the country and is managed by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Chris is at the helm 99% of the time, but he had to run downstairs, so I was at the helm, and I saw something up ahead that I caught on camera. It is a baby bear swimming across the canal. I was so excited, but sad for Chris that he missed it. As we were traveling along, we got word that the Deep Creek Bridge was having difficulties. Our plan was to go through the bridge and stay right inside the lock for the night. They have power at the free dock. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, and we had to tie up at a concrete dock right outside the bridge for the night. No power, no water, one generator down, but we did have our little Honda generator. Redundancy is the name of the game when looping. Travel day 44. We went 31 nautical miles from ElizabethCity, North Carolina to Chesapeake, Virginia. The next morning, the bridge did open, about 45 minutes late, but that was okay. As long as we got through, we were going to make it to Norfolk as planned. Then onto the lock to exit the swamp. We had to go down about 8 to 10 feet. I tried to film it for you. Can you tell the water level is dropping by looking at the lock walls? Well, now look at the lock walls. Coming out of the swamp, we go right into a major city, Fort Smith, Virginia. And all of a sudden the landscape changes to a major interstate and we go under this bridge. Here we go. The military is the largest economy of Norfolk, mainly the U.S. Navy, being home to Naval Station Norfolk. The region also plays an important role in defense contracting, with particular emphasis in the shipbuilding and ship repair business. After the military, the second largest and most important industry for Norfolk based on economic impact are the region's cargo ports. You can see all of these cargo ships in this area. We finally arrived to our marina. Waterside Marina in Norfolk is in the Waterside District, a central gathering place for local residents, visitors, and businesses, with restaurants and a live music venue. We enjoyed a great burger from Jack Brown's and settled in for the night. Travel day 45. We traveled 8 nautical miles from Chesapeake, Virginia to Norfolk, Virginia. We woke up to get ready for our big day. More to come. But first, a grocery delivery pickup. Several folks have asked how we get our groceries. Well, we have them delivered. We take our wagon and meet the driver at the closest driveway to the marina. Also, apparently Norfolk is known for their mermaids. There are many mermaid sculptures all around town. Here's a few that we caught on camera. We explored the city on foot. Norfolk has some beautiful buildings downtown and the city is super clean. I love all the brick buildings and their architecture. So, our big day has arrived. For us, this was a much anticipated event and it did not disappoint. We took a private tour of the USS Wisconsin, a naval battleship that Chris's dad served on from 1951 to 1955. There is not enough time to give you all of the interesting information we learned, but here's a quick summary. It was completed in 1944 and participated in battle starting in 1945 and spent a total of 14 years in active service. It was then later donated as a museum ship. USS Wisconsin is 887 feet long overall and 860 feet long at the waterline. She has a beam of 108 feet and a draft of 37 feet in her full combat load of 57,540 long tons. Her top speed is 32.5 knots. We were honored and humbled to be on the actual ship that Chris's father served on, and we were grateful for the opportunity to go into areas of the boat closed off to the public. We stood in the citadel where they commanded the ship, we looked at the berths where they slept, and we made it to the 10th level to look out at the awesome view. Wanted to see a boat project? Here's one. Earlier I told you that our boat generator pump and belt went out, so we ordered the parts and had them delivered to Norfolk. Chris and Don replaced them, and now it works great. Many thanks to Don for all of his help. Listening to the live music at the Waterside District from our boat. We sure enjoyed our stay in Norfolk. So what's your tip of the week?
This week's tip is redundancy. When we bought this boat, it had two radios on it. The ICOM, which is probably original to the boat, fantastic radio. And then somewhere along the way, someone added this smaller Standard Horizons. I really enjoyed using the ICOM. It's a much better radio. The only problem was the screen was burnt out. So we got on the internet and looked around, asked people who could fix these screens, and so many people, or not so many, a couple of people responded and said, just buy a new radio, it'll be cheaper. Well, the new version of this radio is $850. We spent less than $100 to have the screen replaced.
Yep.
So now we've got a great radio for less than $100, and I'm gonna get this thing installed and we'll show you a before and after picture when we're done.
Sounds good. The next morning, heading out of the marina, we saw more huge ships up and down the shorelines at port. We also passed Naval Station Norfolk. As we've heard, plans can change quickly while on a boat. Weather dictates our movements. So we're headed out into the Chesapeake, and with the wind and waves and chop, it didn't take long to reroute us to a marina across the bay. We arrived soon after to Hampton, Virginia. Look at this adorable sailing school right next to our boat. Travel day 46. We went 12 nautical miles from Norfolk, Virginia to Hampton, Virginia.
Welcome back aboard Cool Beans. This week we had another wonderful week on the water. We started off in ElizabethCity. That is a great little town. We were tied there on the city docks, and we met some really nice people. They have a host. It's a volunteer from the city, and he welcomed all the boaters in and gave us lots of information on the city. Just so happens last week tip came into play. The water pump on our main generator went out, so we were looking for parts on it, got them ordered, got that replaced, and the little generator came in extremely handy. It served its purpose.
But let's talk about the nice guy at Napa in Elizabeth City. We walked over to a bunch of different stores looking for this belt.
Every auto parts store in town.
And when we got to Napa, he said, I can get it here for you, no problem.
We thought it was just a belt.
Yeah, at that time. But anyway, he said, oh, I'll deliver it when it comes in at 1 o'clock. And we said, oh, thank you so much. As we were walking out the front door, he's coming out the back door and he goes, hey, I'll just give you all a ride back to your boat.
It was over a mile.
Yeah, so Elizabeth City, shout out. You got great people.
I believe his name was Jared. So if you're in Elizabeth City, make sure to do your shopping at Napa.
Yes, great city. Anyway, go ahead. So after Elizabeth City.
We found out it wasn't a belt, so we ordered a water pump.
Yeah.
Left Elizabeth City, went to the Dismal Swamp.
Yeah.
Had a dismal time for a little while.
It was beautiful until
it was fantastic.
It wasn't.
We had a misconnection on the bridge, which wasn't working at the time. We found out when we were about an hour away, so we stopped and docked. We heard that the bridge was working again, so we start heading towards the bridge. Get to the bridge, there's no one there to open the bridge for us. So we spent the night tied to a concrete wall right in the middle of town and listened to trucks go across the bridge all night. Where did we go after the Dismal Swamp?
Norfolk.
Oh, we went to Norfolk.
Yeah.
Spent 3 days in Norfolk.
Yes.
Toured the Wisconsin. I'm sure Lisa will give you lots of information on that beautiful battleship.
Already did. This is the end.
Left Norfolk en route to Yorktown. We made it about 8 miles and said, we're not doing this. Extremely rough.
Yeah. The Chesapeake's a different body of water, from what we understand, than what we're used to.
So we found a marina really close to where we were. Here we're in Hampton.
Yep.
And we'll be in Hampton until further notice.
That's right.
Waiting for smooth water to keep moving up the Chesapeake.
Anything with north in the wind is not good if you're traveling on the Chesapeake, apparently. So we're going to sit here until we have a non-end day. And yeah, but it's a great marina, free laundry. But yeah, all is good. Had a good week.
Anything else?
That's it.
See y'all next week aboard Cool Beans.
Thanks for watching.